Welcome to my latest blog. Today I want to talk about something really serious. Today we're going to talk about Gdpr, which stands for General Data Protection Regulation. To give you some background if you never heard of it, the current European Union data privacy regulation is from 1995. In 1995 it was the year of the PC. Now since then a lot has changed, right? We have these smartphones that contain all of the information from our lives, travel, e-banking, pictures, all on one device. So it is absolutely overdue that our governments came up with new regulations. So last year they published a new regulation, this GDPR, and gave everybody time till May 2018 to actually comply with this law. To put you a little bit perspective around it, it will bring much more enhanced security or privacy controls for the people, for us. I love it. For companies, it actually enforces companies to really take strict measures to protect our data, but it also makes them or forces them to communicate or report a breach to the government and to the affected users, and it comes with very significant fines. Why is that good? Because if there is no significant fines, then usually people don't follow the rules. Take any law you have in your country, the ones that just cost you 20 or 40 bucks, you really don't care about it. The ones that cost you significantly, you care about it and you obey it. And here we talk about 4% of your global revenue, or up to 4%, or 20 million. 20 million, very significant. Who does the law apply to? Anybody that does provide services or is in business or has any or collects any data in the end of any European Union citizens. So this affects most parts of the world that do business with the European Union. That's a soccer club, the fans, website, everything is affected by this law. So let me quickly dive into the 4 different pillars that this law contains. Personal privacy. Personal privacy means that I can access my data at any time, see what data you have to me, and make corrections to wrong data, such as a wrong phone number or a wrong location that you recorded to me. And it also needs to allow me to export the data. You may know these functions for Facebook allows you to download everything you ever posted on Facebook, or for example with Google, the right to be forgotten. So that is all part that comes with this personal privacy. Controls and notifications. This means that the companies are really forced to have strict and good measurements to protect their data from a technology standpoint. The breach report falls into this measurement, confidentiality and record keeping. Third, you need to provide transparent policies. Transparent policy means my grandmother needs to understand what data is collected, what is why you process, or the purpose of processing, and that it can't be hidden in some long empty documents or in your general contractual obligations that you offer your customers or as a service provider. IT and training means you need to invest in your employees, not just IT, but also in your IT. You need a data privacy officer or a data protection officer. You don't need specifically one full-time or a dedicated one, but you need somebody that takes over that obligations or the efforts of that person. And you also need to make sure you have the right policies in IT and overall the company. So summarized, we have the personal privacy. I have the right to see what data you have of me. I should be able to correct it, to delete it or take it with me. Delete it obviously only if it doesn't conflict with another law. Let's say my phone records, the phone provider still needs to keep them on record, even if I would say I would like to forget it. But all the other interactions that they're not required to keep by law, I can ask them to delete that. The controls and notifications. First of all, that you really ask me that you're processing that data, but also that you make the breach reports and more. Transparent policy, my grandmother, she's 92, she needs to understand it. And IT and training. Now, many companies ask us currently, okay, where do we get started? What does Microsoft do? What is going to happen? The countdown is going. We have just a little bit more than 12 months, and then we're going to be or have to be compliant. So let me show you how you can get started easily. First of all, discover where you currently collect data and where you store it and what's the purpose of processing. Most companies right now don't even know the answer to that question because it's difficult. Because traditionally, let's say you have a customer relationship management tool, for example, as a car garage, where you see what the cars I'm driving or the cars I bought in the past. You see what the maintenance work was that you have done in the past. But then you maybe have a website that I interact with. There you collect cookies. Or, for example, the database that sends me those great emails with all the amazing offers you can provide. Those are different places where my personal data is located and has a different purpose of processing. So make sure you discover them. That's what you can get started today, right away. Secondly, you need to control, after you discovered how you do it, you need to control how down the road you're going to collect it, how you're going to process it. Then, to me, the most important one protect, establish security controls, establish encryption, enforce it, right? Like policies that your technology can enforce to protect the data, and that you can get started as soon as you know where the data is and how you're going to control it down the road, or where you have those data entry points where you actually put new data in. Put everything in place that you need to report when I come and say what data you have to me, that you can give me the report, the data recordings, the records keeping, like that you have to uphold and keep it in your system, but also for yourself that you can run reports, and obviously also the report part in case there would be a breach, all part of the report section. And in the end, review. This is a living organism or a living process where you have to do it over again. But to summarize it quickly, first of all, discover where you have data, what you're doing with the data. Put controls into place, what data is going to be collected and really needed for what you need to do. Make sure you protect the data with data encryption on, let's say, the mobile devices, the hard drives, email attachments when they leave your company. Make sure you report, and you can create the reports required, and review the process over and over again. So this is how you can get started. But to me, it is very important that you understand something that is really important in this equation. When we put GDPR at the center of our, let's say, circle, then there is a piece, technology. Technology can help you, for example, with access control, data protection, and, for example, to discover personal data in your systems. But this is just one part. Then we have people. There you have, for example, the data privacy officers. You have training. And then we have process. Here would be, for example, policies, internal frameworks you put into place, but it's also third-party contracts. What does that mean? Most likely you don't have everything in-house. Maybe your website is run with a hoster or you're using the cloud. So you need to make sure that these contracts meet all expectations or regulatories that are given to you by the GDPR. For example, let's say you use Office 365. Microsoft does everything to uphold GDPR on their side and will make sure that they provide you the information. Let's say that your tenant got breached, if it got breached, because the breach came for us as a cloud provider. But you still need to have the process in place, what you're going to do with that information. But that is not just for cloud provider, this is also for others. So just keep that in mind when you work on it. Again, technology is one part, but it's also people and the process problem. Keep that in mind when you tackle it and when you follow through the steps. I also want to give you a very quick overview how this applies to Microsoft products that you probably know and use and how they can help you. So let's say we have Windows 10, we have Office 365, we have Dynamics 365, we have EMS, and we have Azure. So let's make a little table. Let's go with red. So as I said, they can help you with data protection, for example. Protection. Then we have access control, and we have, for example, discover personal data. All of these products help you with encryption and, for example, help you to or give you the tools that you can protect the data. So they all get a green check mark. When we look at it from an identity provider standpoint, then we have that functionality given in Office 365, Dynamics, EMS, and Azure. And EMS also provides you with the tools necessary to, for example, discover personal data, label them, and protect them accordingly to policies that you put into place. So you see, GDPR is a very complex topic. It is very difficult. I hope I was able to bring you some help into it as you're going through the recording. I will make my notes available, and as usual, I will bring you to links or provide you with links that you can go and read up in depth, because this is not a comprehensive view, but it's a light view to get you started, where you can read it up and really get on execution. Because don't lose any more time. Remember, in a little bit more than 12 months, if you're not compliant, heavy fines, significant fines are expected to come, and it's in their best interest to make sure to make an example of the first one that they catch. With that, I want to say thank you very much for taking the time of watching my vlog. I hope you found it helpful. It's a new format. Today actually I record in the garage out of the Microsoft office in Zurich. So it has been a pleasure, so I can play with the big surface in the back of me. Please keep your feedback coming. If you have questions, also just use social media to get in touch with me. Please subscribe on WordPress or YouTube and help me spread the word. Share it with your friends, and let's ensure that we all follow and help to protect each other's data as good as possible and to be compliant and to reduce risks. With that, thank you very much and have a great day.